Inshallah and Ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic beings. I don't know what's happening over here. Hang on. Live streaming, but it's not playing over here. I should probably mute that a little. Let's do that. I don't know. Okay, it is playing, but I'm going to get out of there because I get a little sidetracked. And welcome to Monday's Musing, or Musing Monday. I prefer Musing Monday, but where are my fellow musers out there? And didn't we just have a galactic full moon? Blessings to you. My wish for you, besides listening in on my Musing Moon meditation, is that we're able to intuitively embrace and feel contacting to, and we're actually able to release what's no longer serving us in the field of our relationships. Having just heartfelt faith, literally faith is the main stage ingredient for this actual full moon in our creating new relationships, building a solid foundation in relating, the ones a Libra season invites in intuitively, leading us to a spiritual path or a spiritual initiation, a story, the one that we are born to live. And by holding the faith, the mysticism in something that is possibly otherworldly, often it's miraculous, and it can often not be explained in the physical. So it's a faith tone or a note. You should be feeling lighter after such a powerful spirit initiated kind of ascension kind of a day. I should say initiated by the goddess of the night, the emotional field in our sacral energetic center, but hopefully you feel like a freshie. Maybe you've got some clarity, some reconciliation, and you're ready for the next elementally air, possibly kind of grounded movement forward into healthier relationships with everybody. A quick snippet, if it doesn't or isn't serving you, there's probably a higher octave probability that isn't serving anyone else either. Just remember baby steps. Those are the steps, the first steps to transformation and change. And the Aries energy is a first responder, an initiator. So really give yourself some time and space before responding, especially throughout those text messages throughout the day today that can really shift the energetics for yourself and also for other people around you, your situations. And remove the idea of control. And really, who's in control anyway? You are of you and our inner decisions, but be sure that you're not also playing those sidecar games. This is about transformation and the changes that we are initiating that are providing us with a pause point of taking time and space, the kind we're kind of streaming in for through the moon's veil of change and transformation. So ritual, I hope you did some sort of a ritual offering to the goddess of the night as we are still in the arena of this full moon's energy, streaming onward and forward. It's our heart and our intuition. That's the guiding light. So we have these three notes or sounds, the heart, the throat, the crown, the third eye even. I feel like there's something else, but these are all of our higher energetic centers, the subtle energy centers. So you may feel as if you are floating in space, floating away or sailing away, like that song, Come Sail Away. So there's different ways, new ways of approaching and deciding in the arena, the corral, if you will, of relationships and those interactions in our life, people that we interact with on the day-to-day and deciding. It's this energy of deciding or the main ingredient. So if your heart feels excited, it lights up like E.T., the extraterrestrial. And look at me, I've got like cleavage hanging out. But and whether or not your intuition is sourced, if this is a grand idea or a grand illusion, if there's a situation that you are at the seams, you're like stitching in some new seams and removing the old ones, the threads, the new fabric. So today is really the day to heartfelt commit and allow our intuition to be the guiding light, the guiding energy. It's not an action energy. It's an energy that's really offering us. It really is kind of ritual for the soul. It's the ability to see through the new eyes, a solution where the outcome has this otherworldly possibility to be greater and create a balance in those cross threads in that arena of your life. So really take a mindful moment as you stream forward. And with that, welcome to the Daily Snippet. Once again, I am your host. I'm a practicing holistic shaman and medium, an otherworldly life coach, and a subtle energetic surgeon. But I do go by the term holistic Sha medium, which is a merging of all of these wonderful things. And my intention is to utilize these indigenous technologies along with the elemental realms, our original divine blueprint to navigate our soul's harmonic through these realms that are elemental, imaginal, or mystical, and into our, and out through our shamanic portal, the 8th energetic center, with the cosmos, the subtle realms, and really so much more. With offerings, prescriptions, the otherworldly kind, rituals, those are the otherworldly kind as well, to really add to your juice, the sauce of your ingredients, your personal medicine in your container, your prime directive, whatever that is for you, and just assisting you in discovering or even initiating your inner genius, that personal medicine, the star that I believe wholeheartedly we all are, really reintroducing you, if you've lost ground, of the magical being, the essence that resides within you, so your light shines even brighter. My name is Tanya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And again, if you have yet to subscribe, blessings. If you have, to my channels, please do, YouTube or otherwise. And remember, referring a friend, liking and sharing, like-minded musers, heartfelt in the corridor. You can find me, Tanya D, on YouTube. My Musing with Tanya D podcast, which I forgot to record this week's meditation there, but it's all dedicated to Venus, so be sure to check that out. It's all otherworldly insights this season, so I've been kind of doing the dance with the astrology and the cosmos and the planets and the gods and God knows what else. But you can also find me on Instagram and my private groups, Rising of the Origin, where I'm streaming now. But let's give a shout out to the community, the village, and also my new subscribers and the ones that have been with me for this journey for quite a while. Shay and blessings. A big shout out to all of you that have been a part of my tribe since the journey, since the beginning. I do feel you, I do hear you, and gratitude and Ashe blessings are coming your way. And also, if you don't mind hitting the bell button as well, so you're notified, and remember, a comment or a share does get you a message for your way to get you on your way for your day. It really does assist with the algorithm. I'm getting some really good echoing out there. So again, I appreciate that out in the galactic universe. But all things insights of the other world, the world of spirit, subtle energy, chakras, and the elemental source. And you may be wondering why that even matters. Well, it's all divine interconnection. But you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram. I don't go there as crazy wild as the others, but if your soul is nudging you to really dive on deeper into the realms of the other world, and head on over to my Musing Corridor. This is my digital library in the sky, where I have some amazing opportunities and offers to assist you, to guide you. It's a venue, an online venue, along with a private sacred circle, a village, a community as well to utilize. I really am your otherworldly shamanic assistant. You truly are your own healer, but sometimes we do need an otherworldly perspective on to look at things through a different set of eyes to really get us out of our own way. It's kind of an initiation process. And with that, just a few announcements. I'm loving my options today. A shout out to Amber. She always creates me some great juice out there. But we've got Tiger's Eye, and we have an orange-red rose, or an orange rose. I always think roses are red, but we do have an orange rose, and we also have the juice of the moon with that wonderful tree there. Looks like kind of the tree of life. But with that, just a few announcements to get us on our way. The early bird opportunity to invest in yourself, your personal medicine, that door has been open to utilize your intuitive gifts and your psychic abilities. The energy world, merging the intuitive energy or spirit realm into the physical body and more, energy to matter. Bringing spirit to matter, that's what Change Your Stars truly is all about, or at least activated on the energetic highway. The star that you uniquely are. We're all unique as far as I'm concerned. And how cool is that? But when we begin to merge the energy body or the subtle energetic body with our physical, along with our soul, we then become the being, the starlight that we are meant to be. We're navigating our own cosmic highway in a way, like who we are. So this investment is in yourself. It's going to raise the price on Wednesday. That option is going to be elevating, so be sure to change your stars and join me there. But being that we're in the season of Libra, or in the spirit of Libra season, like who we are or how we're relating in our day-to-day relationships, our village around us, and then streaming out into the world, the main stage ingredient is our relationships and partnerships, and we're upcycling them. So we're attracting the relationships that we are heartfelt vibrating with, and the divine, the spot-on choreographer, you know, spirit to matter again. And the moon is finishing her moment in the season of Aries, and then we're going to head into the dreamy subconscious realm of Taurus, if you will, the earth realm, which is quite interesting if you think about it. Air on the earth, and how it floats above. You can't catch air, right? Ether's a bounty out there. Well, so thoughts may still be bouncing kind of back and forth like a pendulum, if you will. Maybe you're feeling that loving feeling, the creation feeling, a new relationship creating. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more excited, more than normal. Maybe your ego self, your character is feeling maybe unfamiliar or uncomfortable. You're in some uncharted territory. It kind of is like playing chess. So you're in a position to move through it with positive affirmations, positive thoughts. Be mindful of the thinker game, your mind, and allow your heart and spirit, your higher self, your Siura, decide the highest elevated frequency or vibration energy for you. And you've heard of that catch and release, right? Sometimes it's a question of if we did get the memo or we're getting the memo. So if you are able to stream back into the last few days of August, streaming in there, I'm going to create a book, by the way, just had that insight this morning, but reflecting the endless, infinite possibilities, thoughts around relating, they've been doing this dance, they're moving. So do you have a journal, a reflection memoir where you can jot down new thoughts, the breakthroughs in this arena? So that light was on the stage about 2 weeks ago as well. So it's time to allow the transformation to literally stick, to hold together like glue. So you may even feel a little bit business-like. There's no need to be self-critical, by the way. What happens is we go cold. We ignore our heart or our heart feelings, a cold emotional heart. So make a conscious decision to just be aware of both what you feel and what your heart, the core processor, is feeling as well. So kind of take a broad stroke, whether you're swimming or painting, be the artist of your canopy. It really is showtime to be ready to commit to these relationship changes in our day-to-day life. This could be a relationship or partnerships, to anything in life. And we kind of get stuck just in the intimate field. But this is with anything and anybody. The shift itself is, it's symbolic. It's a meta symbol, if you will. It's a metaphor in all of these aspects of relationships that are kind of streaming and moving forward. It's like the fabric of destiny. We're committing to a new strand or a new thread in its essence. So it's like, you are ready. You are ready to elevate. You're going to take a stand on what's fair, what's balanced, what's in harmony, what is in peace. Being peaceful, it always reminds me of the peaceful warrior, to a higher heart definition. And you get to be who defines that instead of Webster's dictionary, by the way. So it may give you more in some or in others. And it may be time to open the doors to be ready to accept and receive a new opportunity. So the currency, it's relationship currency, really. And this is a balance. It's a balance between the give and the take. It's time to be on the receiving end. It's an energetic currency to commit to. However, keep those heartfelt commitments to a level of my favorites, which are always peace, joy, happiness, integrity, and of course, love. Got to have the bubbling juice of love, the joy molecules. But you know who is deciding the energy. Always is your heart and also your soul. It's your gift and your purpose. So really filling into your heart, filling into your soul separately. And does it resonate? So if one's unhappy or sensing a warning, the commitment of the fabric is not right at this moment, those threads. So hold your heart and listen to your soul. Your intuition knows. And how often do we commit to a partner when our heart knows it and our soul has warned us about it? We do it anyway. So really raise your hand. And don't worry, no one knows if you've raised your hand, unless, of course, you're all listening and streaming in on YouTube or any of my social channels at the same time in the office. But use your heart as the guiding light, your intuition, sourcing it all out to commit to these changes in your relationships or even a relationship in itself. So if you start to give excuses as to why that's not the heart, that's the mind, talking you into it or out of it, different frequencies, different vibrations. Hopefully that makes sense. So the mind kind of is a tool. It often creates catastrophes if it's not in alignment with our heart space. So on the elemental highway, I'm super excited to announce we got a new month. Woohoo! So excited about that. I just have to say it's a fire monkey of a day, a yang fire. And the sun is forging some new metal. We have a new month energy, right? The dog, which is exciting, a yang metal dog. But the fire is forging. It's a furnace. It's firing up. And at the hour of the horse, which is right now, we do have a fire frame. So take those ideas, put them into action, and fire it up. Create something new. Because yang fire, the being fire, creates the dog. So this is energy, right? That's the action. It's nurturing action, dog energy. They're loyal pets. But this is leadership. It's a leadership kind of a dog, a kind of a militant dog like German Shepherds. There are others. I just happen to have a German Shepherd here. And they do need a job or they do get in trouble. Yeah. The military. That's actually a great asset for people with lots of metal. It decides their course. They do need structure. Yeah, boundaries. Computers. I mean, we have an overabundance of metal energy and mineral. Our world needs more nature, and our bodies as well. That's definitely happening. But enough of that. Our day is all yang energy. Every day, month, year, yang on the heavens, yang in the stems, the branches. It's just very yang. So this is outward and onward energy. So we may need to go within and light those inner fires, nurture our inner baby, go on an inward journey. We're having transformation and change. And we have all the elementals. We have a mountain in the physical for the entire month, the season of the dog. I would say go to the mountain, rituals and offerings to the mountain for the entire month of the dog. And a rocky mountain at that. It's a metal mountain, so I would be searching for caves or rocks, genies, and whatnot. But our being Shen day, monkeys are fidgety. It's fidgety energy. And our fire, the sun, born in the month of the dog, the end of the autumn season. Dry earth is actually the dominant element, and the earth is thick. It is heavy. It's a mountain. It can't move, right? You can't move a mountain. And metal is cold in the month of the dog. So I don't know if you felt the elemental shift. This probably actually started Saturday, I believe. I didn't really check into that, but fire is usually weak in the month of the dog. However, there is some fire hidden within the dog's energy. It needs to be stimulated. It's not hidden, it's actually in storage. But at the hour of the dragon, they clash. The dog and the dragon clash. It's not as detrimental as the tiger and the monkey, which are also clashing. I mean, hello, Christmas, here we are. But the clash is released. They release the hidden elements. So we do have more yang earth coming because the tiger and the monkey are clashing. So we definitely don't need more earth. That could drown out our big sun fire, but highly unlikely because we do have another clash. And the tiger, the yang wood, is going to loosen the dog, the yang earth mountain. And the yang water not only supports the tiger, but it also is supported by our day, the monkey, and also the yang metal right next to it. So we've got some flow, interestingly enough. But the fire is definitely controlling the yang metal, which is also mineral, which is right next door as well. So we don't really need more of the earth element, the light of the fire. It's taken and it's not going to give back. The earth doesn't give back. It absorbs the light of the fire and it isn't returned. So this is like giving and not receiving, which is the opposing force of what we need to do. So we do have some amazing elemental balance. I would source literally the element that you feel and intuit to ground into today, to go to today. I mean, you may feel like going to a mountain. You may feel like just sitting out in the sun. You may connect with a stone, get the wisdom of the community there, the storytelling of the ancient rising of the origins, I guess. But on the month, we do have a neighboring god called the flamboyant god. This is like strong creative abilities, communication. It's also the strong sex appeal with the fire there. So maybe you're feeling a little bit sexy today. Maybe that's why I put the fur on. Didn't even think about that till just right now. But that's in the neighborhood. That's in our local venue. That's why I call it the neighborhood, like where we live, where the year is global. This is international. But the month is all about innuendos, dirty language, I guess. But on the year, we do have a charismatic god. That's the talent, the gift, or god. It's highly charismatic. It's able to become famous instantaneously, often seen as authority figures, confidence, and courage. Has anybody watched Elvis? I should look at his elemental chart, but that's kind of what this reminds me of. But he's got a different frequency. I did look at his astrology chart. But a natural talent. I think his sun is in the second house and his moon is in the third. Don't quote me on that. The King. What a great show, though, if you haven't watched it. And what an era to have, you know. But we have a charismatically flamboyant day on the horizon, so it's super exciting. So with that, on to our messages. Look at this. This is seriously beautiful. Tiger's Eye, and then we have an orange rose. And we have the moon. Who doesn't love the goddess of the night? As a reflector, I'm just telling you, it's all about the moon for me. Okay, I feel like I'm chatting a lot. Must be the energy of the day. But I also am loving the Fae. It seems I do bring them up on Mondays more often. But if you chose, I think I'm going to go with the moon first. I don't really pick these out, by the way. I just kind of stream it forward. So if you chose the moon, you get Habya. This is G Habya. The 61, which is what the heart opens up to receive. And when the heart opens it, it receives it. It's intuitive insight. This possibly is a carryover from the full moon. It's a message there because the moon was actually at the 16th degree. So this is the opposing force heading into my value house, hitting me hard tomorrow. I may add just other planetary actions that are streaming in. But Habya is part of the fairy challengers, if you're new to my show. These are the ones that bring us face to face with our fears, delusion, confusion, denials, inner traumas, even those misbehaviors towards ourselves or others. But they test us. They test us in ways that are not like getting tested in school where you got to mark the box. They test us so that in the process of passing the test, we move to a higher level of being, into a higher level of authenticity. They test our alertness, our insight, awareness, knowledge, and wisdom, and even our dedication to our own personal growth. So that's super exciting there. But without them, we may become lazy, very lazy. It reminds me of people that really have too much of the element of earth in their elemental chart there, their 4 pillars. So it's solid like a mountain. They appear lazy, but they do wish us good luck, however, and they really look forward to congratulating us on succeeding, on moving through our challenges. But Habya, these are our imaginary fears, those unreal hazard, realistic kind of cautions. But he refuses, and I've told you this before, he refuses to tell us what the G in his name stands for. And he says the more we know about him, the less power he has and the harder it is for him to do his job. So that should kind of tell us a lot or clue us in a lot about him. Curious little character. But his powers lie in our imagination, our vivid imaginations, right? Sometimes our imagination can be very otherworldly. And our fears, not in the real world, not in any of the real worlds, actually. So this would be the wicked thing in our closet that keeps frightened children up all night, or possibly in the garbage can, which was interesting. Those eerie sounds that happened to me last night and some scruffling noises. I felt it was curious that he showed up today. But as soon as we turn on the lights and open the door, he disappears. He's not there. So he exists only in the collection of our fears, and he thrives on them. He gets stronger and stronger and stronger until we face him. So he's kind of a little sham, a tiny fear blown way out of proportion. The tiniest positive thought will banish him, and all of the land of the other world, the Fae, knows this, and nobody is actually afraid of him. So his job, this is what he does, is to wave our imaginary fears in front of us. And remember, fear is nothing but false evidence affecting our reality. Sometimes we can step out of that illusion into a different one. But he likes to make them look as alive and real as he possibly can. He's actually magically really good at it. But the challenge that he's offering us is to see that certain fears of our own are just that. They're imaginary. And to distinguish them from things we can actually need to be more cautious about. And in doing so in this way, he's trying to teach us to look past our fears and see the real truth, whatever that truth is. I would say with being in the season of Libra, it's probably a spiritual truth. Our voice, our throat, our thyroid, all that kind of contagion. Blue, bring in the blue. But it's a message that it's time to look for the truth behind those fears and to distinguish between what is real and what is just our projections of maybe an old trauma or an old fear into our imaginary future. So by delving into our old patterns, taking note of them, we can see past them and be more liberating in our life, only by facing these fears, honestly, and seeing them for what they actually are. And what do we gain? You know, we have a greater ability to open up our heart to the singer of courage and to gain strength to face the really difficult challenges in our day-to-day lives, which sometimes it's a toilet paper issue. That's kind of how I see that. Or the fact that my German Shepherd ripped apart the garbage. Like, that was like a fae last night. I'm telling you, I sleep outside. It was a whole fae evening. It was probably a genie with the mountains, just saying that. But each false fear confronted and resolved just really does make us stronger. And imaginary fears are imaginary. They're false narratives. And the mind is a tool between being a smartass and a dumbass, which is our ego. So I go, ugh. That's kind of what I see with him. He's super cute, though. I'm not afraid. You shouldn't be either. Okay, if you chose the tiger eye, this is called the undressing of a salad. Have you ever thought you would ever undress a salad? Like, seriously. But the 31, this is like, what does your heart believe to be true, and what does your heart wish for? These are heartfelt wishes. When our heart wishes with sincerity, that gift is attracted. It's the frequency is reached, and your heart is in alignment with what the heart believes and wants. And the universe then opens the portal to the unlimited wish. So wish wisely. That chalice door is open to receive the frequency it's frequenting. So you want to elevate those frequencies. But this one's part of the fairy guides and the guardians. They assist humans as we develop our own special talents, our own natural magic, becoming more of who we already are by exploring and transcending those self-imposed limitations and more fears. So sometimes they do help us climb out of the holes that we've made for ourselves by really misusing or misunderstanding our own innate gifts and talents and those potentials. But this is balance. It's avoiding extremes. It's achieving the impossible, being impossible. So if you were to be dressing the salad, the real idea here is a good balance. You know, it's the separate elements must be blending into a tasty whole, which I love making salads. I'm just saying that. Where undressing of a salad really requires a truly remarkable adroitness in doing that, right? At first, you might think it's impossible, but adroit, he's the little character at the bottom, the little gray guy, who you can see with the balls, the magic balls, balancing them. He's doing the fairy things of doing the impossible, but he's also the fairy being of impossible and the fairy of avoiding all this, which really kind of sounds impossible, but of course, a little curious. But these fairies, they're intently focused on balancing all the things. And the large gnome, I don't know if you can see him, his eyes kind of peeking through the center there of the card. It's finding this very amusing, and he's looking in all directions simultaneously, all at once, seeing the impossibility of keeping things that are in constant motion in balance all the time. So it's just like life. It's the juggling act of life. And of course, we fall out of balance, right? We miss, it's kind of like when you're walking on the sidewalk and you have that little idea where you can't step on the line. So this is like, of course, we're occasionally going to drop the ball. Sometimes this does seem as impossible as undressing a salad. And there are times when we have had, you have to turn your bad luck into good. And that is not always easy, especially if somebody else seems determined to turn your good luck into bad luck. So everything is integrating and disintegrating in the same time and frequency. Confusion could be rife, but we still try to create order and put things into balance. It's like cleaning your house and your body in the spring and the fall. And the whole universe, galactic and juicy as it is hurtling through time and space at this astonishing rate. So it's very difficult to keep balance on this rapidly moving object, especially as it appears to kind of lurch into the unpredictables from time to time. And sooner or later, the Fae, they're all going to drop their balls. And that unruly looking fellow on the right, it'd be on the left of me, he's clearly waiting to snatch them up so he can also play. So being smart enough to really realize that our old balls wear out, right? New ones must be brought into the game, into the play. And just being ready to kind of deal with this. The balance changes constantly. It's always shifting, but that is still balance. So this is a message that things are in motion. The outcome is impossible to predict. Have a cool head. That's what's required to deal with this. And be ready. Be ready to jump in whatever direction seems appropriate for you. Exercising cool judgment while staying really ready for the unpredictable. Be in the cool, the waters, the clarity of the waters, where sudden changes of fortune may appear, good or bad. That's actually the 4. The 31 nets to a 4, adds to a 4. That's what it looks like. It's the breakdown to the breakthrough. But things are in flux. You can be rechanneling things if necessary. Develop a new poise, stay calm, reconcile differences. And you can come out a winner here. You can come out on top. But it's likely to take some concentrated effort, use power with delicacy, and also discretion. So, sometimes it's like, who do we think we are? So finishing up, if you chose the orange rose, the orange red rose. That's kind of what I called that one. You get, or actually, I'm going with we all get this. We finally get the singer, the unity singer, which who doesn't love it? You cannot believe this. It's the one. The one is the one. It's the heart of it all. It's the core. It's like an atom. It's our God spot. It's our core processor. The singer of the realms, the singers. So they're like angelic beings, the off-grid conscious aspects that we all have within us. And we can activate them all. But what we have to do is we have to call them in. And these are the great ones. Their wingspan in all directions, dimensions, and into the beyond. We've given them a multitude of names, whether it's an angel, a dakini, a diva, Kuan Yin. It really doesn't matter what we call them as long as we do call upon them. We call them in. They're constantly with us. And we are receiving this power of unity. We are one. This is the oneness field. This is union. It's a mystical experience. It's a spiritual homecoming in a way. So unity comes first and unity comes last. And in the in-betweens, we have the illusion of the duality, which we all believe in for a very long time. But this apparent duality is ultimately shown to be this illusion. But it's an illusion through which we must pass through because we're learning and we're growing. And then once again, we do return back to unity. So you may have had a mystical experience where you've had true union with other beings or even with the unity, the one who is all. So these experiences, they really do change our lives. They really effectively show us that the saying that we are all one is not just a pious belief, but it is an actual statement. It's an actual fact. We are not separate like a flower in the field, but we are one. And the only way to reach this awareness is to surrender to the small everyday self, to the larger spiritual self, which is unity. I see this as our higher self, our otherworldly self, our Siura. Just experiencing full oneness with unity is this transformation. So just looking at this image, if you can, all the power is focused in here. It's vast energies. It's as if all the power is looking for a place to happen. And that's exactly what's going on. Unity is this energy of the cosmos. It's the galactic frontier. It's still unmanifested. It's still without form. But here we see the dark and the light. We see the masculine. We see the feminine. We see the active, the passive, and all these polarities. They're all expressed in balanced. It's energy filled. It's this vibrant union. All that is one. And, and that one is the goddess or the god, whatever you want to call it. I'd go with the goddess. That's the principle expressed from this. All else things derives from. So this is the source from which we draw our strength, our very essence, our very being. So this is a message asking us to remember those mystical, magical concepts that we are all one, even forces of adversity, right? Seeing the good in the darkness, unified in this holistic universe, kind of like a hologram. So it's reminding us to look at the needs and the goals that we have in common with the village, with others, and to seek cooperation and community action rather than attempting to do everything on our own to really achieve our goals. We need the active cooperation of others. We do need the village. We all need a village. And to get that cooperation, we have to be helpful to them and willing to work with their ideas as well as our own. That's the cosmic soup. So this is suggesting that we think of things in terms of equal, especially in partnership, because we're in Libra, rather than in lines of a hierarchical authority. That's community. So unity also tells us that we do have a lot to gain by remembering our own wholesome self, our wholeness, resolution of inner conflict that's necessary before we can move ahead. This moon, I think, is Chiron was there, for crying out loud. Hello. So it's important that we kind of work towards cooperation, reconciliation within ourselves and outside of ourselves, just really seeking the highest good for all involved, really. Not merely just your idea of what highest good is, because we all got our opinion there, and really ask for the divine energy of unity source to permeate and to guide us, consulting our heart, our intuition for that unity guidance, and commit to a new relationship direction or even a new approach in relating. In some very rare cases, you may just be deciding to end a relationship. And again, who's in the conference room? That's the awareness there. Your heart and your higher self, your intuition. Those are the beacons to listen to our soul, our personal medicine, our prime theater director, if you will. So when you put your left hand on your heart and you literally ask your soul, ask your intuition, really doing a spiritual check-in, is this the right time to be in relationship? Or you may be asking if it's the right time to literally end one. Sometimes, a relationship isn't going to last, but it's meant to continue, so we get the memo, the lesson, which is often a gift that we really don't see in the moment of it happening for us, not to us. So intuition is the light that guiding us through the decision like that we're making on a day like today. So unity being online and the balance of the elements, they're all very young, active energies, by the way. But the messages, along with the full moon energy still upon us, we are choosing a wise choice. Wisdom is flowing. We're upcycling our relationships. We have a new month element. So we have our upper energetic centers online. They are activated. They're conversing, literally. The yam, the hum, and the yang. I mean, we've got the ohm too, but maybe ground those notes into elemental earth like bells and rattles and drumming. And knowing that our heart is online, our intuition, our third eye, our heart, our throat, all of our upper centers and our outer onwards, actually, as we go streaming forward. So just allow your intuition, unity, to be the guiding light, the singer there. But I would affirm that I am heartfelt devoting my inner world to harmonizing all of my relations, to be in harmony, to be in peace, to be in happiness and joy, seeing the good and the bad. We ultimately are choosing to really upgrade our choices in the relationship arena of our life. So be sure with all of that to join me for Change Your Stars. Again, the investment does go up Wednesday at midnight, and we are going to be live streaming in the Rising of the Origins. It's an event I'm doing, so be sure to join in for that starting next week. But again, the early bird investment ends Wednesday night, midnight, and then the price does go up. To Change Your Stars, I think we're gravitating to this. Sometimes we do have a cosmic hiccup, but Change Your Stars is one of probably my platform offerings to guide your light. So with that, thanks for tuning in. This was a long one. I knew it was going to be because we had a new month on the elements and so much more. But there's so much goodness happening. I just am focusing on that and staying tuned in there. That's what my goddess tells me to do. So I will see you tomorrow. Ashe, blessings.